Hey guys, this is Seth at the Mast Store Knife Shop, and today we have something really cool, something made right here near Valle Crucis, another local company, Primitive Woodsman. We've done a lot of videos on his stuff before, on Josh Morgan, but this particular knife is really cool, so stick around and hear the story behind it, and especially what type of wood that is on the handle, so stick around. As usual, let's get the box out of the way. You've got the cool hell bender right there. Josh loves hell benders, Primitive Woodsman. It always comes with the Woodsman wax for the blades, the handle, the sheath, every bit of it. And this particular knife is really cool. So you'll get this little plaque right here, the Valle Crucis. That's what the knife is called. Like I said, I'll talk about the wood, but reclaimed maple from the Valle Crucis Methodist Church. And we'll get into the story behind that in a second. You've got your specs and Josh Morgan's little autograph right there. Hang on to that. Stickers as usual. It's a great presentation. And now let's talk about the beautiful knife. You can see the beautiful sheath right off the bat. And then we'll check out the beautiful knife. As I said, it's called the Valle Crucis. And I think most importantly, you've got the Mast Store logo right there on the blade. You've got the Primitive Woodsman. If you remember a while back, he made one for the Mast Store Knife Shop, or for the original Mast Store. The same exact shape, same knife, but the handle featured the wood from the original Mast Store, Wormy Chestnut. They sold like crazy. And so we've done another one with Josh's help. But this one features the wood from the Valle Crucis Methodist Church that was flooded by Hurricane Helene back in 24. The church it's been flooded many times in its lifetime, but this one hit it pretty hard. So they decided to raise the church up. They looked at it about 5 foot. They had to do a full restoration, pretty big operation. And I was driving by it one day and I was thinking, what are they going to do with some of that wood from the church that they couldn't reuse? And so I reached out to Josh and I said, Josh, what can you do for us? And so this is the maple flooring from that church, built in 1895. And there's no two alike. Some have the wormholes, some have iron deposits. You can still see the saw marks. And what that is, this is the underside of the flooring, where the other side is the finished part of the flooring, maple, like I said, from 1895. You can see some have little wormholes and divots right there, but that adds character. And I think a very important feature of this is each one is numbered right there out of 50. You can kind of see that's number 28 of 50. We have sold quite a few already. I know all the low numbers obviously have sold first. That's what collectors want. But we still have a handful left. So if you get by either the original Mast Store or the annex to grab one of these, because they are not available online due to there's only 50 made and just the story behind them. So no pressure, but you might want to swing by and grab one of these, because once they're gone, they are gone. And Josh's stuff is going to become very collectible one day. I've got several of his things with the intent of them adding value in the long run. Same with like Winkler knives, a lot of our local knives. The older the stuff, the more valuable they're going to be in the long run. So that's coming from a collector. This is a perfect EDC. If you want to use it, you can. I won't hold that against you. But it's the same steel Josh uses, which we'll go over in a second. It's designed for a good EDC. You can hunt with it, skin, cut boxes, whatever you're going to do, this will do it. Clip point style blade with the full tang all the way down. Nice finger choil right there, and also the sharpening choil. That's important. We have an edge all the way down, and it has kind of a stone wash finish, which I like. That it appeals to the handle. It gives that rustic look because that wood is from 1895 or older, obviously. And now we can go over to the sheath while we've got it out. Beautiful sheath, leathered, handmade by Josh, and you can see all the little dimples in there are made from crushed up deer antler. He has them in his shop and he steps all over them to give them that little dimple. So it's a really cool effect. I love just the simplicity of that, with how functional it is. And of course we do have the lanyard hole. Patrick would be proud about that. You can put a lanyard on it, or you can tie it around your hand if you're actually using it out in the wilderness or everyday use. And I think now we can go over the general specs of it. Let's go over here. We got our overall length is basically 8 inches, right at 8 inches. And your blade length is just shy of 4 inches as far as your cutting edge right there, right at the sharpening choil. So good EDC size. And it's only 3.75 ounces, very light. Again, I could wear this on my belt all day. You would not feel it. But for me, it's going to be in my safe next to all my other valuable knives. But yes, there's no problem in using it. And the retail on this is $375, and that's pretty good considering the steel, which we'll go over in a second. The fact that there's only 50 made, handmade by Josh Morgan, the wood, the story of it, and also a cool feature, 20% of the proceeds on the sale of these knives will go towards the Valle Crucis Methodist Church and getting it restored and getting them back on their feet. So that we're really proud to be able to help them out with this and have a cool story. And now, as I promised, we'll go over the steel. And most of Josh's stuff is 80 CRV2, which is the excellent steel. We use it Winkler knives Knives uses it. Josh, several of our local makers use it, and for a good reason. Edge retention, don't be discouraged. It looks a little low, but this is a comparative chart, so compared to like S90 and others, it's a little low, but it's easy to sharpen on the field. That's why they choose that steel. It's not so hard you can't get a quick edge. Go over to toughness, and that is what it's known for. It is an 8 out of 10 on toughness, so you can't break it, chip it. It is extremely hard to do that. And then the stainless properties, as we always say, it is not that impressive, but that's why it's important to keep it oiled. That's why Josh gives you that Woodsman wax. A lot of them coat it with a casual finish, but just keep in mind 80 CRV2 needs to be cared for. It's a high carbon steel, but it's a great steel. And I believe that should wrap it up for the Valle Crucis from Primitive Woodsman. I hope y'all found this information helpful. And before you go, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel and you won't miss any new content. And as always, ring that bell so you know when we post new videos. And remember, you can only get this at the original store or the annex.